If you want to be healthy, doesn't matter what's wrong with you, you have to eat healthy. There is not magic wand or magic pill, you take it once and you're okay. You will be surprised once you put your real food in your body, which is raw fresh fruit, how fast you will be improving.
Hi everybody.
Hello everyone.
Today we're going to answer a question that Carmen asked us about blood pressure, how to lower it or what to do if you've got high blood pressure. It's a good question because so many people have high blood pressure. And high blood pressure, you have to understand, it's really, I would say, predominantly caused by diet. Even if you're under stress, if the diet is right, you're not going to get high blood pressure. The high blood pressure is definitely a... Hello. Yeah.
The sunbird just came to say hello. Last time he sat on the camera. Actually.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, the high blood pressure is caused by diet, especially if you're eating animal flesh and animal secretions. You're going to end up with getting higher and higher blood pressure. I think it's inevitable. Obviously, I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight, but it's something that builds up over years, over decades. And people end up with high blood pressure because all their life they're eating the wrong kind of foods. And the more fruit you're eating, then the less high your blood pressure is going to be. And we have mentioned this before in a video, that we had Kvetka's mother who came to visit us, and she had high blood pressure.
She have a hypertension, low or high.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think hypertension is what they call high blood pressure. What she had was labile hypertension. Anyway, it does not really matter.
It doesn't matter.
Sure.
It's all the same thing. Really, the problem is the heart pressure.
Anyway, she had this form of hypertension, and she was taking medication before she came here, and she stopped taking them as soon as she got here.
And she was measuring her pressure a few times a day, and she brought that thing with her, and she was measuring here like 5 times a day to start.
But even though she was measuring it, she was always happy because it was normal. After one day of eating just fruit, her blood pressure was normal. I don't know if it's always going to be the case, but we had my friend Sigve came from Norway, and he had been on blood pressure medication for 30 years of his life. For the previous 30 years of his life, he came here to us. He had fruit for one whole day. He then said to me, Mango, I forgot to bring with me my blood pressure monitor from Norway. He forgot to bring it with him. And I said, don't worry about it. We'll go into town there. We'll just buy you a new one in the chemist. So we went into town. We bought one. We came back home. This was the second day. He'd been here for 24 hours. The second day. He came home. He tested it out. He said, it's not working. And I said, what do you mean it's not working? And he said, my blood pressure is normal. And I said, let's have a look. And we tried it, and it was looking okay for us to normal blood pressure. And he said, well, it's never been normal for him. 30 years. He's been measuring it every day for 30 years. Never had normal blood pressure. And in the end, we went back and we tested it in the pharmacy, and it was normal. So we had to realize that the machine was working okay, and it was normal the whole time he was here. The whole time he was here, it never rose again. Now, I don't know if that would always be the case for every single person who's on high blood pressure, if one day on fruit is going to put it right. But it certainly put it right for Sigve, it put it right for Kvetka's mother, and I think for the vast majority of people it would put it right. Because what's happening with high blood pressure is that you're getting, and I've mentioned this word before, I like to use this word because it's very, very simple, and the truth is very simple. You're getting constipated, not in the sense that you're getting constipated down here in your bowels, but all over. Your lymph system, your blood, everything is getting constipated. And when your veins get narrowed, become clogged with that extra layer of fatty waste that is a natural build-up from years and decades of eating the wrong kind of foods, blood pressure will increase. It just naturally happens that your blood pressure will increase because your veins aren't clear. So your blood isn't being pumped smoothly and clearly through the heart as it should be. So you get high blood pressure. It's simple. It's very, very simple. The medical industry would make it more complex. I'm sure they would have many ways to describe this and many different reasons they would give behind somebody's high blood pressure. But really, there's only one disease. It's toxemia, the disease of toxemia. And that is that you're having an internally toxic system. You have sullied your internals. Eating fruit, you start to cleanse yourself, which is why I don't think that for everybody it would just be one day. I think there would be some people that would be so thoroughly clogged up that it's going to take more than a day of eating fruit. But even as I said, my friend Sigve, he'd been on blood pressure medication for 30 years.
And he didn't eat healthy food.
He didn't eat healthy food. But still, he wasn't the biggest person. He wasn't like the most overweight of people. He was definitely overweight. Kvetka's mother was overweight. You can definitely be in worse shape than either of them were. So
Yes,
yeah.
yes, that's true. If I didn't see it, I would find very difficult to believe this, that in one day on fruit, somebody who for 30 years daily on the medication, he brought it here with him. He stuck it right away in the fridge when he came in. That was first thing. He wants some plastic container to put it all in, so it's separate in that fridge from everything else. And I felt so sorry for that man. He had to carry with him such things so he can live. And this is my point too. Like, look at this. 30 years on medication. People believe medication's going to help them. Medication's going to heal them. It's not true. This man's still taking it 30 years later. Also, this is proof to me. They don't heal you. They just keep you going and coming back for another medication. It's an excellent business. They don't tell you, change your diet. They never mention that. Very rare you will meet a doctor who will tell you that. I spoke so many people throughout my life, and only once I met a woman who told me, doctor actually told her to stop eating meat, and she did, and she felt so much better. She lived in my village, and she knew in that time I wasn't for a while eating meat. I was vegan, and she came to me like little kid, so excited. And she told me, a doctor told me don't eat meat, and I don't eat now meat for like few months, and I feel so much better. I can't believe it. And she was so excited about it, how only stop eating meat, her life improved so much. And this time we experienced here with my mother. My mother came here, she was here 5 months the last time, and straight away from day one she will eat only fruit. And she will come here very sick. She was aching, all her joints. She hardly could walk. Her energy was down. She looked worn out. She looked
the complexion. She was so pale.
In very bad shape. Here, within 3 weeks on fruit, she was running around, jumping around, singing songs. I feel so good. I don't feel any pain. I can jump around. And she was just happy little child here. The difference to watch that every day, if you have those people, you see them every day and you start giving them only fruit. And you see every day difference. That's how powerful it is. Only on they look. And their bodies start melting. And they happy about that too. Because my mother, she was overweight since she was maybe 45. She was 80. All those years. And with the time she was getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Only bigger. And she came here, she was weighing 79 kilograms, I think. She was 80 years old. And when she left here after 5 months, she was down to 54 kilograms, I think. And it was like she'd lost 20 years.
Yeah, that's what one of my friends, she told me when she came back from you, she was 20 years younger, and she was so happy and so shining. And also, as Mango mentioned, my mother couldn't believe her blood pressure is suddenly normal. And she couldn't believe it. She still kept measuring it actually for another week or so, and then she fully forgot about it. She had no reason, she didn't feel any discomfort. We only start looking for things when we start feeling discomfort. But that's already sometimes it's too late. Diet is the base. The diet is the key. If you don't build on a diet, on the food you put in your body, you will never get healthy. Doesn't matter how many naturopaths or homeopaths or how many experts, health experts, natural or whatever field they are, if you don't change the way you eating, you will never do big progress forward. Even if they help you, and once you start taking their remedies or whatever they're helping you with, because it's not food, your problem sooner or later will arrive back. This is not only about blood pressure, this is about everything. So it can function properly in your body.
Because people tend to forget, even doctors don't put any emphasis on it, that everything has a reason. So when somebody comes to them with high blood pressure, there's a reason they've got high blood pressure. And the reason isn't because they're lacking whatever it is, the medication that the doctor's going to sell them. That's not the reason they've got high blood pressure. High blood pressure is something that's happened over many, many years. Like I've always said, the reason why you get a headache isn't because you're not getting enough aspirin in your diet. It's a ridiculous way of looking at things. And you have to understand that the doctors, although many of them may mean well, they start off meaning well, they think they'll get into this career because they're going to help people. But they spend, up to 5 or 6 years studying to become a doctor. And during that whole time, I've read that they only spend maybe a couple of weeks looking into nutrition. So they don't really understand anything about nutrition because they themselves are eating the same foods as the rest of society. All they know is how to analyze what symptoms you've got so they can give it a name, classify what it is that you've got, and then prescribe you the right kind of medication to combat those symptoms that you've got. They are glorified drug pushers. It's a legalized drug pushing system. That's what the pharmaceutical industry is all about. So the doctors, they are working for the pharmaceutical industry. They hang together. They're brothers in arms. The pharmaceutical industry is the cartel, and the doctors are the people out on the street selling the 100 grams bags of cocaine or whatever it might be that they're selling.
And that is all addictive on the top of it, so they have you on a leash. And if you want it for a longer time, you have another problem. And everybody who tries to eat raw food, we all know, we all learn about addiction, even if we never had that problem with anything else, because some people, they never smoke, never drink, never develop the other addiction than food one. It is hard yakabor to say no, because that addiction, that craving, they will ease down, but they will be always there. And this is also the problem. People want that medical pill. They don't want to pull their finger and change some things in their life. I have to have my bread. I love bread. I can't imagine have a life without bread. Well, have a life with bread and with high blood pressure. If you want a high blood pressure, and go and eat medication so you can function through the day. Because if you don't take it, who knows what will happen to you? I don't know.
Because you said bread, but these animal flesh and animal secretion are the number one culprits. But Kvetka is absolutely right. If you're eating a lot of bread too, you're going to also clog up your system, because bread is highly mucus forming, and mucus is not just something that comes out your nose, it's all around your body. It's a waste product, which is clogging up your veins as well. And of course, it's something, as I've said, which builds up over many, many years.
Yes. Well, I use bread just as an example because everybody eats that. Almost everybody.
It's a staple. Grains are a staple in the world, which is why people suffer from the same kind of illnesses all over the world too. But the worse the diet is, the worse you're going to be. And pills are not a solution. They're not going to solve anything. And Kvetka is absolutely right. People want quick fixes. They want it to go to a doctor and the doctor say, here, take these pills, and you'll be right. You don't have to change anything. Just pop these pills once or twice a day or 3 times a day. sometimes proud of their pills. They say, oh, I'm taking 20 pills a day, and they've got these little containers, and they take this one in the morning and this one before lunch and this one during lunch and this one while they're asleep, whatever it might be. They have these pills that they've got to take every day. And that's not a solution to anything.
Obviously not.
It's showing that the doctor isn't saying change something. He's saying take these. And people don't want to be told change. They don't like to be changed. They don't like to be told that you're doing something wrong. They don't like to hear that whatever it is that they're doing on a daily basis, multiple times a day, could be making them get sick, especially when it's something that they believe they like doing or they like eating. You have to accept that there are things that you're doing which you may be strongly addicted to and hence feel like you enjoy or like doing them at a certain level, but you're not. Your body is not enjoying what you're doing and not liking what you're doing. Your body is objecting, which is why you're getting problems, because objection is a rejection. Objection is your body saying, no, I'm suffering now because of it. But because you can't put two and two together, because you can't realize that that high blood pressure is coming from the shit that you're eating, you would rather pop a pill. It's not going to help you at all. We're not trying to be nasty to anybody out there.
No, but we need to say how it is. That's how it is.
Yeah.
I visited some old people and at their home, like relatives and stuff, and all of them, there is certain time, which is the morning, midday and evening, they will bring their little bag, their little something box, like my father, he had it in a box. He always bring it on a table. I'm giggling, but it's tragic. This is like tragic comedy to me.
Yeah.
They saw sleeping, they don't know what they're doing. And they bring the box or whatever back with those medications, they taking it out and they this one and this one, and 3 times a day. It's totally insane, and they eat it and then go on with their day, don't even give it thought. And when I tell them something, they just think I'm a lunatic. Even they see I don't need the pills. People in my age, I will say most of them would eat already some medication.
Exactly.
If they're not in fully like health and have some nature stuff or some other.
Yeah, it's very true. Most people our age in their 60s are on some kind of medication daily. It's normal. Even when people are 20, they're taking medication, not daily, but they'll take medication because they've had a hangover, so they need something, or they've got a tummy upset because they've eaten something. It's all about what you've consumed, really. All about what you've consumed. And the only time a doctor is really going to give you any kind of advice that you should change your diet is if things are getting really dire. Like they might think, oh, your lungs are really black, you should stop smoking. But they won't tell them to stop smoking if their lungs aren't black. And they won't tell you to stop eating animal flesh if you're not really on the verge of perhaps going to die soon. They might say, if you don't stop eating animal flesh, you're going to have a heart attack. But that's the only time really you'll get them telling you that they should make such changes. Otherwise, it's about pills. They're drug pushers. No disrespect to doctors out there, because I know they mean well. Most of them don't even really understand what they're doing. They don't understand the system that they're part of.
If you want to be healthy, doesn't matter what's wrong with you, you have to eat healthy. That makes sense, I think. But now the confusion comes. What it is to eat healthy. And me and Mango, we experience, and we saw other people experiencing, or read about people who experience the fruit. It's the healthy raw, fresh fruit. It's the healthy natural food for humans. If you eat something else, you will have some smaller or bigger problems, depends what and how much you eat of those other things. So, and this is the most important thing to learn. As I already said, this is your key to the problem, this is your base you have to build on. If you don't have that, you can't get your health. You just can't. Sorry to say that. It's impossible.
We know there's another school of thought that these people that call themselves carnists or paleo, whatever the names they might give themselves, where they're eating only or predominantly animal flesh, and they think they're doing the right thing. And we've watched in the past, there's a TV show called Alone, where it shows people going out in wilderness and surviving, and they're always talking about, oh, I need my protein, I need to get some protein. It's like they're reducing everything down to protein. And they think that that's like the number one thing in the world is this magical protein. And so many of them, you'd be surprised at how many of the contestants have lost their father to a heart attack. There's just so many of them that say, oh, I lost my father a few years ago. He taught me everything. He taught me everything I know about hunting and fishing. And, and he died from a heart attack recently. And mostly those fathers are around our age. You know, they're in their 60s, 70s, and they've died of heart attacks. And they're not putting two and two together. They're still going out there hunting and fishing and killing little animals, thinking that they're doing the right thing. But the right thing is fruit. And you can experience, the only way you can really know this is by experiencing it yourself. It is the most cleansing of all foods. It's easiest to digest. And people like to put a lot of emphasis on the fact that it's some kind of deficiency that's making somebody sick. And therefore they'll think, oh, fruitarian, you're going to be deficient in something. But deficiency is so very rarely really the problem. The problem is, I'll say it again, you're constipated. When you're constipated inside, your body doesn't work properly. It's unable to extract whatever elements it needs from the food it needs to be healthy. So once you're constipated, doesn't matter what you're eating, you're going to end up with some kind of deficiency. But I don't believe that deficiency is ever really the problem. I think we share this belief. The problem is that people are eating the wrong kinds of foods, not that they're not eating the right kinds of foods, if that makes any sense at all to you. Because it's not really about that you're not eating fruit that you're getting sick. It's because you're eating all kinds of other foods which you shouldn't be eating. Of course, in exchange, you have to put the fruit in there because that's what you really need. That's what your body really calls. It's calling out for whatever it is that's in fruit. I don't like to talk about individual nutrients in fruit. I don't like to talk about fruit as a sugar and say, oh, you're missing the sugar in fruit. I just don't like that. Fruit is whole in itself. Whatever's in fruit, I don't really care. But when you eat only fruit, it will digest faster, it will cleanse faster, and you'll have less problems all around, because your body won't be toxic anymore.
And that's what it is. And the natural food is toxic for us. It's toxic for everybody because cooked food is toxic. The cook start with it in science. Only humans do that. And true food doesn't need to be cooked and doesn't need to put salt and pepper and oil and fry it and I don't know what everything. Food should be eaten as is. You can cut it, you can grate it, you can blend it, you can squash it, you can juice it, but you keep it raw. And that's it. So the message is you have to eat healthy, you have to understand what's your natural food, and then you have no health problem. And if you can't change that way, unfortunately, we're sorry for you, and you just have to suffer. There is no way out. There is not other way out. There is not magic wand or magic pill. You take it once and you're okay. You did a lot of damage. Everybody eats cooked food on everyday basis, or even raw there and there, even lot of fruit or lot of raw, but still eating cooked. You're doing yourself damage, and you will be surprised how fast, once you put your real food in your body, which is raw fresh fruit, how fast you will be improving. And that should, not us, but that experience should tell you you were right. And if you feel sick, it's because your toxins coming out. And this is what also a lot of people don't understand, but that's a different topic. This is about high blood pressure. We're telling you it's about all health problems. And that's the message we want to give you in this video.
And we want to also underline that we're sharing with you our opinion. Don't take it as advice. We don't give advice because we've got no control over what you're doing. It's not advice. If you want to follow what we're saying, follow what we're saying. If you don't. It's really up to you. It's up to you. You're an adult. You're responsible for yourself. You're responsible for your own well-being, not us. Not a doctor, nobody else. You are responsible for what you're doing. So if you follow somebody's advice, whether it be ours or the doctor's or whoever, Joe Blow on the internet, it's your responsibility, not that other person's.
You have to make a choice what you're open to and what you're willing to try.
That's right.
You know.
That's right.
I would only ask you, it's also not advice, but if you don't know the way out and you're desperate to get healthy, just try.
Yeah.
Try it and see what happens.
Yeah.
And of course you want to be healthy in one day, but you should see improvement.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think we said enough.
I think we've said enough too. So thank you all for listening. It's been a pleasure having you here with us again. And until next week, goodbye from me.
Yeah. And from me, lot of love. We're sending you lot of love and cultivate love in your heart. It's the biggest treasure you can have. Think about it. Until next time. We thank you for all your comments. We appreciate it. We appreciate every new subscriber. And we are happy to be here with you. We are happy to share what we feel like we need to share with you. And cultivate love in your heart. Until next time, we love you.